Earlier this week, I was finally able to do this.
Here it is. Oh. Come on, show us a little smile. It's kind of beautiful.
I know I don't look that excited, but it's probably because I ended up spending over $800 this day, but believe me, on the inside, I was jumping with joy. I am one of the biggest Sonic the Hedgehog fans in the world, and I have one of the biggest Sonic the Hedgehog collections in the world, and I've always wanted to see a proper line of Sonic the Hedgehog Legos. Lego is the biggest toy company in the world, and it just seemed like a natural crossover to happen with Sonic. For years now, we've been struggling with a bunch of off-brand brick toys. They're fine, but they're no Lego. Things, however, started to change though in 2016, when it was announced that Sonic would be joining Lego Dimensions, the video game, which has since been discontinued, but was amazing. Having an actual Lego Sonic minifigure, being able to see Sonic and his friends in that Lego world was great. But years and years and years went by, and no Sonic Lego sets were ever announced. I think a big part of this is that the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise was really struggling in the late 2010s despite some good efforts. But once when the Sonic the Hedgehog movie came out, things really started to change. The franchise was taken more seriously by big companies and seen as a viable brand in today's market, and Lego was one of those companies. In late 2021, it was announced that we'd be getting a Lego Ideas Sonic the Hedgehog set based off of Green Hill Zone. It was conceived by Viv Grandel, aka Toaster Girl, who proposed a Sonic Mania themed set years ago and was finally picked up by Lego, although obviously slightly altered. The set would be available for around $70, and I actually own it today. It's sitting in its box still. But the thought was still going through my head. Are we ever going to get a real line of Sonic the Hedgehog Legos? Well, after some speculation and a few leaks, Lego Sonic would officially be announced in April of this year. And after a long marketing campaign with crossovers and tie-ins, we finally have the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog sets in the stores, presented right on these end caps right here in Target. And after $300 later, I finally have them all in my possession. So today, we're gonna review and build every single Sonic the Hedgehog Lego set and see what I think of Lego's first real go at Sonic. Was that proper Lego etiquette? Alright, so we have all 5 sets right here, right now. We're gonna break everything down, look at the boxes, go over all the details, and then we're gonna unbox each one, build them all right here, and just get an overall gist on what's the best set, where do you get the most bang for your buck, all the cool little features that they added to them. So without any further ado, let's dive into this. Our first set is the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog Sonic Speed Sphere Challenge. This is your starter set at $34.99 and is available right now pretty much everywhere. At the top left of the box, you have the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog logo with some of the blue bricks in the background. At the bottom left corner, you can see that the set says at 292 pieces. Over here at the top right, it says that this set is for ages 6 and up, the set number, and the name of the set, Sonic Speed Sphere Challenge, a Sonic the Hedgehog render at the bottom right that you see featured on a plethora of Sonic the Hedgehog merchandise. And then you have the artwork featuring the set in action. This blue tinted hand pressing on the spring, launching Sonic into the Moto Bug with some rings coming out of it, Sonic himself inside of the sphere, and then a little section for Sonic to like vibe out and stuff. On the side of the box, we have the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog logo in this really old render from like 2010. On the other side, we have the logo again with some random letters we don't really care about. On the top of the box, we have the logo along with some of the minifigures such as Sonic and Motobug being featured. The bottom of the box is pretty boring with it just being the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog logo with some barcodes and legal mumbo jumbo. The back of the box is pretty beautiful, showing off the Lego set in action and some of the cool play features with it. Once again, the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog logo. This box showing Sonic hopping out of his little sphere. This circle showing Sonic doing a DJ set. And this rectangle being kind of a callback, I want to say, to some artwork from Sonic Adventure of him enjoying a chili dog and having a Chaos Cola, which is an insane reference. And at the bottom of the back of the box, it's really just what the set looks like when it's in action. Now that we have all that out of the way, it's time to start unboxing this thing. I also really love how Lego has this feature to where you don't have to completely ruin the box by just simply putting your finger in the little press point and just running your finger alongside of it. But time to get it out the way now though. So here is our first bag for the first set. This one's pretty straightforward, and you're gonna see a lot of these during a lot of these sets, and this is really the play feature of everything. I'm not sure what the official name for it is, but the Speed Sphere launcher, if you will, along with our new Sonic minifigure. This is the third Sonic minifigure we have now from Lego, including the Lego Dimensions one right here, the classic Sonic one, and now this. Also, one of my favorite additions to these sets are the flicky little minifigures. They're absolutely adorable. This one, of course, being just flicky, but you'll see the other ones during the rest of the sets. Putting Sonic inside of the Speed Sphere is super easy. All you gotta do is put a few pieces in there, put Sonic inside of his little standing area, and boom, bada bing, you're already done. I'm just gonna set him down right here so he doesn't roll over the table. But now we got the meat and potatoes of the first bag. We gotta build the actual launcher to the Speed Sphere. Something I am really happy about with these Sonic Lego sets is the fact that there is a play feature in a majority of these sets. Because Sonic the Hedgehog is a video game and Sonic is a character who doesn't like have a house or a home base or anything like that, there aren't like a whole lot of locations you can really take from. So these sets are kind of slice of life, if you will. It's
gimmicky, but it's not too gimmicky like the Mario sets to where it barely even feels like Legos anymore. So if you at least get one of the sets with one of these, you have a whole lot to play with. I really like this feature, along with the spring being used as the launcher. Here it is in action. It's actually really effective. You can see I didn't apply like any pressure and he went flying, so imagine what could happen if you went crazier with it. And the final thing that we have to build from the first bag is our Moto Bug. This is our actually second Moto Bug, our first being the classic one from the classic set. Something we don't get a lot of when it comes to Sonic merchandise are Badnik products. So them getting merchandise, let alone Lego figures of themselves, makes me so happy. Here he is in all of his glory. I actually think I prefer this one to the classic Moto Bug. But moving on to our second bag, we're now really working on the actual base itself. Of course, if you haven't picked up on it, all of these sets are really based in Green Hill Zone. We don't really have a chemical plant set or an X or Y. It's really just all Green Hill Zone, which I'm sure some Sonic fans will find a problem with, but I don't really have a problem with it. You don't really see people complaining about the Mushroom Kingdom in Mario, for instance. And speaking of Mario, they eventually got other sets based in different locations, and I'm sure with Sonic, there are going to be other locations for the sets in the future, so I have no problem with these Green Hill Zone sets. I find them extremely fun. The third and final bag from this set is probably my favorite because this is the more slice of life element that I was talking about. You're building two different locations here, a little beach sitting area and also a DJ set. I love the attention to detail here, and like I mentioned, there's this awesome reference to Chaos Cola from the Sonic Adventure games. I also really like the DJ set. Sonic doesn't traditionally DJ in a lot of media, but it's kind of fitting for his character and gives the set some, well, character. Definitely elements they didn't need to add in, but definitely add to the set being worth its price tag, which isn't even that much in the first place. And there you have it, Sonic's Speed Sphere Challenge Lego set. Our first Lego set of the day is complete. I absolutely love this thing. I think this is a great starter set for a line. Sonic's minifigure is great, although not that different from his classic counterpart. All the little details that just add to the world, such as the flowers, the flickies, the item boxes, just make this more of a Sonic experience. Stuff like the little beach area and the DJ set just add to this being more playable with. It's not just used for the Speed Sphere element. You can also have fun with it just having Sonic and his friends play around here. I highly recommend this set, but speaking of Sonic's friends, let's move on to the next set. Up next, we have the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog Tales Workshop and Tornado Plane set. This thing starts at $39.99, only around $5 more than the previous set we went over. Why is this? Is it worth the extra $5? Well, let's take a look and find out. Once again, we have the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog logo at the top left. The set sits at 376 pieces, a little bit more than the previous one. The top right also lets us know that this set is for ages 6 and up, the set number and the name of the set being the Tales Workshop and Tornado Plane set. Bottom right, we have the same Sonic render as usual, and I think this might be my favorite artwork from all 5 sets. I don't know, it's super cute. I love this dynamic duo of Sonic and Tails, so I just love it. Also gives you a good understanding of what you're going to get in this set. The left side of the box is pretty much the same as the other set, just this time having a Tails render in addition to it. Same applies to the other side as well, nothing really different there. The top of the box features the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog logo, the Sonic minifigure, the Tails minifigure, and also the Buzz Bomber that you're going to build as well. The boring bottom and the back. That beautiful logo once again, and to look at some of the things you can do inside of the set, such as working in Tails' workshop. Seriously, they didn't need to make it this cute. And then at the bottom you got the full set in action with all the little different pieces and features that you have. Now it's time for us to bust this bad boy open and get to work. Fun fact, this will be the only set to feature 2 instruction manuals. As much as I do love this box, I am going to have to toss this out of here. Bag 1 is really just building a few of the minifigures and accessories, such as this new Sonic one, which yes, this is new, with the variations being the wink and the grin he has on his face. A little side by side of the two. While this isn't the case with every set, I do like if you get multiple sets, you'll at least get multiple different Sonic minifigures. Other things we're building is like what we mentioned, some accessories, but also we're building the Buzz Bomber. This is our first Lego Buzz Bomber minifigure, and I think they did an absolutely amazing job with it. Something I'm really happy about with the Badniks is the fact that we're actually able to, build them. And here you go, this is our first bag, including the new Sonic minifigure, the Buzz Bomber, 3 rings, a little lounge chair for Sonic, and a workbench. But now it's time to move on to bag 2. I'm really happy about this set because we're finally getting our first ever Tails minifigure. Here he is in all of his glory. Something I'm really happy about with these Lego sets is the fact that all of the characters are scaled, so Tails is slightly shorter than Sonic, which makes me so happy. The rest of bag 2 is building at least a portion of the tornado, and then bag 3 is really really just finishing the tornado, nothing too crazy there. But what is crazy is that we're getting the tornado in Lego form. We don't get a whole lot of tornado merchandise. It might be featured on like posters or t-shirts, but toys, not really. So it looks amazing. It's great putting Tails inside of it or on top of it. Honestly, the tornado in these minifigures alone could have probably got the $40 out of me, but we still have one more bag to go to fully expand the set. This is Tails' workshop. Now, I've heard some debate about maybe them doing a full-on workshop with walls and X or Y. It's really more of like a windowsill with some things to work with, but for $40, I think this is worth it. Could they have maybe went more expansive with it and just kind of upped the price more for more of a definitive Tails workshop set? Yeah, but I'm perfectly fine with this. I think this is incredibly serviceable. Once again, this is $40. This is like a nice meal at a restaurant with maybe like a dessert in there. So I like Tails Workshop. There are a lot of cool little details in there as well. Plus, you can like fold the walls to give it more of like a building-like structure. So I think this is great, actually. And here you have it, the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog, Tails Workshop, and Tornado Plane set. Even though we're only 2 in, I would say if you were to pick one up, I would definitely go with this one. You're getting multiple different minifigures. You have the tornado, which is going to be so fun to play with. And then you have kind of a house-ish place for Sonic and Tails to hang out at. I love this thing. Best one so far, but let's move on to the next one. Up next, we have the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog, Amy's Animal Rescue Island. This one sits at $49.99, so a whole $10 more than Tails Workshop. Our biggest price jump so far, this sits at a nice $50 essentially. So is it worth it? Let's find out. At the top left, we once again have the Sonic the Hedgehog logo. This set comes in at 388 pieces, only a handful more than the last set. At the top right, it says that this set is for ages 7 and up, unlike the last 2 sets. We also have the set number and the name of the set. Bottom right, we have the Sonic the Hedgehog render once again. And because this set is more of a set, if you will, you get a good understanding of what you're about to build. Nothing incredibly flashy, but I do really like the box art. On the side, we have the logo along with the Amy and Tails renders, and then the boring other side. The top of the box features the Sonic logo along with the Tails minifigure, Amy minifigure, and the Crab Meat minifigure. The boring bottom, but we got the back. A look at Tails and Amy taking care of some flickies, them killing Crab Meat's vibe, and a look at the set in action. And speaking of action, let's get into this action by building this thing. Get on out of here, get. Starting with the first bag, like many of these sets, it's pretty standard, really just building a few minifigures and accessories. The draw of this set, of course, being Amy, so not only do you get her, but her Pico Pico hammer, and because this is an animal rescue set, you also get some flickies. This one I'm assuming is Pocky. In addition to those, we also have the Crab Meat, which I think is a great build. Once again, I'm so happy about all the different badniks that you get. It looks amazing. I'm not sure how many people like it, but I'm personally a big fan of the pre-built-in eyes. Now it's time for bag 2, where we do have some minifigure things to build, which is, as we saw in the box, a Tails minifigure. This is the same one as the set that we just covered. Nothing different about it, unlike the Sonic one. But one of my favorite things about this set that I think is going to go overlooked by a lot of people, maybe not Sonic fans, but is this right here, and that is the Extreme Gear. I think this is a callback, in my opinion, to Sonic Riders, which I love. This alone makes the set worth it for me. Just put Tails on here. Shout out to whoever idea it was at LEGO to do this. I love you. I owe you my life. Now, for the rest of the set, there isn't a whole lot more Easter eggs or anything like that. It's really just building more of the structure of this island where Amy and Tails are helping animals out and stuff, which is really cute. What I do like about a lot of these sets, though, is they have stuff like hidden cast emeralds that you can put places, and you can open parts of the set to reveal them. I think that's really fun. In bag 3, it's really just more of the same, showing off more of the Green Hill-esque environment, also putting in a little more of the play features with this set. Well, I'm not sure if this is my favorite complete set. I do enjoy the building process of this set way more than the others. The past 2 sets have elements of a complete structure. This is a complete structure. Rather than this being part of an island, like Tails Workshop was part of a workshop, this is the complete island, so it feels like you have a real thing going here, which I really enjoy. Also in this bag, you get some new flickies, one being Pink Flicky and the other being Picky. And then in bag 4, our final bag, this is really just putting the final touches on everything, adding a lot of the cutesy elements that make this, well, cute, such as Amy's little juice bar, more places for the flickies to hang out at, and just other cool details that make this set all the more amazing. And here you have it, the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog Amy's Animal Rescue Island set. I like this set a whole lot. I don't know if it's my favorite set so far, and I especially don't know if it's worth the $50 price tag. Not that it's bad by any any means. I think this is great actually. But for a set that doesn't really feature Sonic himself, have a real distinct play feature, being more of a slice of life play set, I don't know if it's worth a whole $10 more than the LEGO Tails Tornado set. But let's say you have a few sets already and you need something for your birthday or Christmas, this is definitely a good ask as it isn't that expensive. But if I was a Sonic fan walking into Target with $50, I would grab the LEGO Tails Tornado set and a Jax figure. But let's say you're a hardcore Amy fan or something, then this is the set for you. This is great. This screams Amy. I love the addition of Tails here with his hoverboard. It's great and I do recommend it. I would just say get some of the earlier sets first. But what about the later ones? Let's take a look. Up next, we have the LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog Sonic vs. Dr. Eggman's Death Egg Robot set. This is their biggest set so far, and by a large margin. This set comes in at $59.99, which is another $10 price jump, but honestly, for this much more LEGO, I think is a much better deal. But is it actually? Let's see. Once again, the LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog logo, with the bottom left telling us that this set has 615 pieces, almost double the amount of our previous set. At the top right, we have another change, with this set being for ages 8 and up, along with our set number and the name of the set being Sonic vs. Dr. Eggman's Death Egg Robot. The Sonic render once again, and that tinted blue hand returns on the box art, showing off Sonic attacking the Death Egg Robot, also showing off some other cool play features of the set. Overall, really cool front of the box. On the side of the box, you have the LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog logo, along with renders of Sonic and Dr. Eggman. Thankfully, they use a different render of Sonic this time. The other side is boring as always. The top of the box shows off the logo, the name of the set in some different languages, as well as some minifigures of Sonic, Dr. Eggman, and Cubot. Pretty bland bottom. And the back of the box is pretty cool as well, showing Sonic rescuing this Flicky from Cubot, Sonic hopping out of his little speed sphere, Sonic helping out some more Flickies, and of course, a fight between Sonic and the Death Egg Robot. The bottom shows off pretty much everything else that you get in the set, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and open this thing. This is of course our biggest set yet, so we got a lot more bags, a lot more pieces to go through this time, but of course let's get this stupid box out of the way. Okay, so bag 1 is essentially the same bag as the first bag for the first set that we did. That was a lot of firsts right there. I'd like to say this is a more expensive starting point if, let's say, hypothetically you have more money or you're just a more well-off person. I don't really see any reason in getting the first set and also getting this unless you're just stupid like me, or if you're a completionist and are just a fun and awesome person. But here is the minifigure, also proving my point. This is like the same minifigure as what you get in the first set, so nothing crazy different here. The rest applies for the rest of the bag slash build. It's the same launcher as the first set, so I don't got too much commentary for you guys on this one. It's pretty cool, I guess. Bag 2 is really fun though. It's where we start getting into new territory with Eggman and a bunch of accessories. Here is that Eggman minifigure. I love this thing and it deserves all the hype that it's been making in the marketing campaign. Once again, these are scaled really well, so he's taller than Sonic and Friends. We have this same blue Flicky again, which I'm not complaining about. The more Flickies the better. And this one's really cute. I do like this one a lot, it being of course Cubot, but it's a little weird having a Cubot minifigure without an Orbot minifigure, but nonetheless I'm really happy to have it. It's not extremely detailed or anything like that. I think this is probably like one of the more simplistic minifigures of them all, but nonetheless, we don't get a lot of Cubot merchandise, so I'll take it. The rest of the bag is really just minor additions to the set, just like accessories and stuff like that. There's no like house or environment for any of the characters here like the previous sets. This is really just focused on the battle between Sonic and the Death Egg Robot, which is perfectly understandable. I am at least glad that they added some of these elements to kind of flesh out the set a bit more. Bag 3 and basically onwards is where we get really started on the Death Egg Robot itself. We've been receiving more and more Death Egg merchandise recently, so I feel like this set was kind of inevitable when we heard that there was going to be a real line of Sonic the Hedgehog Legos. In fact, the Death Egg Robot was one of the things pitched in that original Sonic Lego Ideas set, so to finally see it come to life in some form was exciting, and I really think they knocked it out of the park here. When taking into account the different locations that we've built, or the different vehicles or minifigures and stuff, I'd say that the Death Egg Robot is probably my favorite thing that I've built so far. Not just because it's the Death Egg Robot, but because it's the most fun thing to build so far. And here you have it, the LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog Sonic vs. Dr. Eggman's Death Egg Robot set. That was a mouthful. Once again, I think this is a great set. Like I said earlier, this is essentially just a higher price starting point. So if you have the extra $25, I would go ahead and recommend getting this opposed to the first LEGO Sonic Speed Sphere Challenge set. I think you get the most bang for your buck here, and of course the Death Egg Robot is an amazing addition. And with this amazing set out of the way, way, it's time to move on to our final set. And finally, we have the LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog Sonic's Green Hill Zone Loop Challenge set. This is of course the big ticket set sitting at $99.99, a whopping $40 price jump, so let's see if this thing is worth it. For the last time ever, at the top left corner, we have the LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog logo, ladies and gentlemen. The set sits at 802 pieces, around a 200 piece jump from the last set. Like the last set, this is for ages 8 and up. We have the set number and the name of the set being Sonic's Green Hill Zone Loop Challenge. The Sonic the Hedgehog render at the bottom right, and then the artwork showing that blue tinted hand launching Sonic around the loop and all of the stuff that you're about to get your hands into with this set. The left side of the box we have the LEGO Sonic logo alongside some renders of Sonic, Amy, and Eggman. The other side is boring as always. On the top of the box we have the LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog logo once again alongside minifigures of Sonic, Dr. Eggman, Amy, Chopper, as well as Neutron. The famous boring bottom of the box, and here is the back. Some bubbles showing the emphasis of the speed sphere, Sonic utilizing it in various different ways, Eggman's super meched out Eggmobile, Sonic and Eggman going at it, and Amy riding a jet ski. And like the other sets at the bottom, we have a good look at everything that you really get in the set. Even before getting into it, this set seems the most like an actual Sonic the Hedgehog level. But let's stop looking at it and actually start building this thing. This is a massive set. We got a lot of packs to go through. I just wanted to really see if this is worth the $40 price jump in comparison to our last sets. For the last time, I'm gonna get this stupid box out of here. That bag one, like the previous one, is the same exact thing. We have basically 3 entire sets in this wave with the same bag one. There isn't a new Sonic minifigure, but this is the second set to feature him with little grin and wink. The launchers, the same launchers. The other two, no difference with this as well. It's fun, it's super easy to build. I like it, but nothing crazy to talk about here. It's the same thing. Bag 2 isn't anything too big or crazy, but we do have an Amy minifigure. This is the same Amy minifigure as the last set to feature her, but the difference here is that she has a different colored Pico hammer, this one being more along the lines of her classic stuff, the other being more pink with a heart on it. I think I prefer the last one, but I do like that if they aren't going to give us a different Amy minifigure, at least we have a different hammer. The rest of bag 2 is really building the base and using the additional bags to build out the first loop, or really the only loop. I'm really glad that LEGO found a way to make a loop work for a set. There's nothing complicated whatsoever, it's really easy to put together, and already after 2 bags in, you can already see everything really coming together. Bag 3 is really fun. You're really just building the base and some things to flesh out the set. So you got some fun accessories, hangout locations, and of course these flickies right here. We got Pecky and Pocky right here. One of my favorite details personally is this awesome little like hot dog stand with a chili dog and the Chaos Cola. I really think that this section of the set really brings some life to it. Details that really didn't need to be there but are, which is much appreciated. Bag 4 is pretty fun as you're building the ring that you can use to put your Sonic Speed Sphere through, but also the base and parts to what appears to be a reference to the mech from Sonic Adventure 2 that Eggman uses. I'm not 100% sure if that is the case or not, if that's exactly what it is, but nonetheless it reminds me of it, so I think that's pretty cool even if I don't like those levels. Bag 5 is also pretty Eggman centric. We do have a minifigure, here he is. Nothing different from the last minifigure. I do wish there was some slight variation, but I'm not complaining too much. The rest of the bag is pretty much building this zooted up Eggmobile with a bunch of spikes and traps attached to it. I really like it. I think it's a really cool touch. It was really fun and easy to build, but not too easy, and really displayable, which is a big plus. Here he is in all of his glory, looking amazing as ever. Bag 6 isn't anything too crazy, really just building a bridge, but once again, this is a set that feels like an actual Sonic Lego, so bridges are kind of necessary in a level like Green Hill Zone, so it's much appreciated and it is needed for the set. Just nothing too interesting or crazy with this one. The final bag though, bag 7, is one of my favorites as we get to build a few badniks and also some more of the level. Here is the Chopper. I really like the way this guy came out. You can also put a little flicky inside of him. You attach him to the bridge that you just previously built, but be careful as he does fall over like this. The rest is pretty much just building this little island area with the palm tree and also this item box right here which has Sonic speed shoes on it. And once when you finish up the palm tree and also the Neutron badnik, you are basically done, and there you guys have it. That is the LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog Sonic's Green Hill Zone Loop Challenge in the flesh. I think this set is really good. If you are going to go out and buy one Sonic the Hedgehog Lego, I'd recommend saving up for this one. I think this is pretty much everything that you need, but is it worth the extra $40 price jump from the previous set? I would say so. I would have maybe tossed in a minifigure of Knuckles or somebody maybe, but like I said throughout the build of this set, this is the most like an actual Sonic the Hedgehog level from the video games. So if you want that full Sonic experience in Lego form, I think this is definitely definitely the way to go, and I don't really think I could have asked for a better top dollar Sonic Lego set. And here they are, every single Sonic Lego set from the first wave. I think all of these sets are great. They really knocked it out of the park with all of these. You can tell that Sonic fans worked on these. There's so many cool little details and extra goodies in here. None of the sets are particularly expensive. All are in a decent price range, unless of course you're like me and buy every single one, which you're not supposed to, I don't think. But yeah, I really don't think I have any complaints with these. My only complaint is just kind of greediness out of wanting more minifigures of different characters, such as taking Knuckles and maybe that final $100 set or something. But nonetheless, these are all awesome. If I had to give my favorite set what I think is the best set overall, I think for the price and also what you get, I do love Tails Workshop and Tornado Plane set, and I would give a worst one or a least favorite, but I don't think there is a worst one or a least favorite. I would maybe say if you have the extra $25 that just go ahead and get the Death Egg Robot set opposed to the starter Speed Sphere challenge, but that set's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, just maybe a little unnecessary if you have the extra cash. So in conclusion, I think LEGO has knocked it out of the park with their first real go at a Sonic the Hedgehog LEGO line. But the question is, what's next? Well, it already seems that the partnership between Sonic and LEGO is going strong. While of course we're never going to find out specific sales numbers on how these sets do, we already know that there are 2 more sets coming in early next year. Not just that, but a big LEGO collaboration is coming up for Sonic Superstars where you can play as all the characters in LEGO form, and also LEGO Sonic is now in mobile games such as Sonic vs. Speed Battle. There was this massive marketing campaign around this new line. Sonic was featured prominently at LEGO's booth in San Diego Comic-Con. It seems like LEGO really wants this partnership to work, as I very much so do as well. Of course, the best way for this to continue is if you guys buy the sets. And you can take my word for it, you're going to have a great time with any set that you pick up. For the next 2 sets, I really hope one of them includes Knuckles, as we already basically have a minifigure of him in the Sonic Superstars video game, but also I'd love to see a Shadow set at some point. It's going to be released in 2024, the same year that the Sonic Movie 3 comes out, so it's just perfect timing for that set to come out. LEGO Sonic existing in the first place is already a big deal within itself, and I'm so happy that it exists. This is something that I've been wanting since I was a kid, and it's lived up to all of my expectations and more. This is a line that I could see go on for a very, very long time. There are so many different characters and locations that they have yet to tap into. We really only have 4 minifigures essentially, and all of the sets are in Green Hill Zone, so imagine a tropical resort set with some Wisp minifigures, or Shadow, or Silver, or a bunch of other characters like Team Chaotix, or even the Babylon Rogues, maybe Big the Cat. There are endless possibilities for what could come next, and after an amazing first 5 sets, I am so excited for the future of LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog.
Wonder what you want right now, wonder what you want right now. Used to be body by, used to be body by.